What is up, Hot Wheels racing fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing channel. Today we've got some epic road course racing action at Watkins Glen International Raceway. Because it's time for leg 2 out of 4 of the Road Course World Cup, and those winners' points are up for grabs. Thomas Elliott, who won the last race at a road course, didn't even make it in today. It really is still anyone's race. And on the pole, Misty G has to be one of the favorites to win. She's coming off her first career NASCAR Nitro Series victory last week and holds over a 100-point lead heading into this event. Other front row starters include Amber Beach, Deuce Andretti, and Killa Kowalski making the best starts of their career, as well as Gale Force, your fifth and final segment pole sitter, Skeeter Davis, Coffee Tart, Gator McCluskey, Burt Buzzard, and Harry Hoon round out your front row. Some other cars to watch include FPD Racing third place starters Remy 12 Gauge and Flip Gambino, as well as Vinny Nightlife. Lucky Jackson and Sterling Marlin also have decent starting spots for this race. And we're going to kick things off with segment number 1. On the front row is your pole sitter, Misty G, and next to her is Skeeter Davis, Remy 12 Gauge, and Vinny Nightlife, followed by Gaza, Johnson Jr., Puff, Zard, Baby Richie, and Karate Joe. What a stacked segment here. A lot of guys with Nitro Series wins under their belt, and plenty of their teammates as well. The gates are down for the first lap. The first 3 rows form a tight pack heading into turn number 1. Misty G slides along the guardrail and gets tossed off the track. She gets back on there, throws a block, tries to stop the field from passing her. It's unsuccessful. She falls from 1st to 5th. First lap disaster for Misty G. These road course races only have 3 laps in the segment racing each. And so far, Remy 12 Gauge is taking full advantage of that. Remy 12 Gauge with a track segment lead over Skeeter Davis heading towards the finish line. Gaza moves up to 3rd. Misty G up to 4th. Gains 1 spot in lap number 2. And now it's time for the final lap of this segment. Clean racing so far. Does anybody have anything for Remy 12 Gauge trying to get into his second career main event? It's Remy 12 Gauge that takes the checkered flag. Gaza to the seconds race. And a finish for 6th place so close. A complete dead heat. Side by side, as I froze the frame, we got a race for it. And Baby Richie, despite starting on the outside, just shoots out of the gate like a rocket ship. This is just for the 6th and 7th race, but we're still going to race for it. And it's going to be Baby Richie. That moves on to the 6th race. And that takes us into segment number 2. On the pole for this segment is Amber Beach, who's won 2 out of the 4 races so far this year. Next to her is Coffee Tart. Started off the season with a podium, but has run into some bad luck lately. Behind them, the Uncle Elvis teammates of Kyle Petty and Sterling Marlin, followed by Morgan Shepherd for Mark Russell Racing and Kid Charlemagne for Abby Normal Racing. Bringing up the last 2 rows is Lazy A, Richard Petty, Johnny Benson, and Zard. The gates are down. Zard gets caught up in the start gate. Everybody else spreads apart. Cautions out El Reco, Coffee Tart on her roof and out of the race. Another bad run for Coffee Tart while Sterling Marlin takes the lead. Beaches Amber Beach on the guardrail. She'll hold on to 2nd place, but another first lap DNF for Coffee Tart. That is 2 back-to-back. She'll be plummeting in the point standings for sure. Meanwhile, we're going to pivot the HSL blimp over to wherever Rotha ended up. He is still on his wheels. He's still in, but another finish behind the gate. That's a mechanical DNF. As the junkyard owner, shiny new tow truck takes over the wreckage of Coffee Tart's car to the HSL junkyard. This season is quickly turning into one to forget for Coffee Tart after such a great start. And now Sterling Marlin, who came into this race 49th in points, has an extra pusher for lap number 2. And look at that lead. Sterling Marlin flying away from the rest of the pack, but he gets beached on the guardrail. Sterling Marlin holding on to 2nd place, gets tossed on his side by Kid Charlemagne. Cautions out El Reco. Sterling Marlin, another terrible points day, as it looked like he was heading to at least the seconds race, but this time it's going to be Kid Charlemagne starting in 2nd. After that hard hit leaves Sterling Marlin on his side and taken off to the HSL junkyard. Bad break for him on what looked to be his breakout race this season. And now it's time for the final lap of segment number 2. And the gates are down. Amber Beach in the lead, flying away from the rest of the field. It's a battle for 2nd place between Morgan Shepherd and Kid Charlemagne, but Morgan just gets tossed off of the track. Kid Charlemagne punches his ticket into the seconds race as nobody else even finishes the lap. It looks like here we have Johnny Benson in 3rd, Richard Petty 4th. A bad points day for Morgan Shepherd as he is off the track. And now that brings us to segment number 3. On the pole is Deuce Andretti, and he's earned his first career segment pole. Next to him, Gator McCluskey got his first top 10 of the season last week at Bristol. Behind them in row number 2 is Atomic Bob and Lucky Jackson. John Trent and Trick Dickel in row number 3. Jimbo Rockford, the last time you'll be seeing this car on the channel, as the Barora Bangers set a replacement car for the rest of the season. And the gates are down for lap number 1, and it's Deuce Andretti. He side drafts away from Gator McCluskey and flies away from the rest of the field by the length of the entire backstretch. And Gator maintains second place. Lucky Jackson moves up to third and cautions out for an El Reco. And if you're a Mopar guy, you're going to want to close your eyes for this. Donald McSpadge in his Charger and Abby Normal in her Superbird, both on their roofs, being taken to the HSL junkyard. Terrible points day for the both of them, and they needed some positive momentum to turn their season around. Horrible luck for the both of them. Let's move on to lap number 2. We still have 8 cars left in this segment. Deuce Andretti holds the lead. Next to him, Gator McCluskey. Gates are down, and John Trent holds the rest of the field behind him back. Meanwhile, Gator McCluskey and Deuce Andretti side by side for the lead. Deuce Andretti peels ahead. Gator gets a challenge from his teammate Lucky Jackson, but holds on for second place. And now it's time for the third and final lap of this segment. The gates are down once again. Gator McCluskey giving everything he's got for Deuce Andretti, and this time he pushes him off the track. Gator McCluskey reverse side drafts Deuce Andretti, takes the win, cautions out El Reco for Deuce Andretti. It's going to be a terrible points day for him. There he is on his roof, out of the race. Gator McCluskey to the main event, Lucky Jackson to the seconds race. As you can see here, Deuce Andretti making his first ever trip to the HSL junkyard. Definitely not a place he ever wants to visit again, especially after leading all but the last lap of his segment. And that brings us to segment number 4. On the front row is Killa Kowalski. Next to him, your defending modified champion, Burt Buzzard. And starting in third place is Flips Racing team owner Flip Gambino. Next to him, Kid Zach for Mark Russell Racing. The 96 of Skid Mark making his main series debut. And Thunderbolt Joe for Abby Normal Racing. Gail and Jim Douglas in the legendary Love Bug. Bobby Allison and your B-Series winner Crazy Ruby make up the rest of the field this segment. And the gates are down. Burt Buzzard with a slight lead heading into the turns. Cautions out El Reco. Looks like skid marks on his roof as Burt Buzzard runs away with this first lap. Kid Zach moves all the way up to second. And look at this. Crazy Ruby up to third from 9th place. We got to show you this again. And as you can see, she's still mired in the middle of the pack coming out of the turn. But look at this. Bump drafting off of Kid Zach. Flies past 4 cars, moves from 7th to 3rd on the final backstretch. What an incredible drive for Crazy Ruby, who had to race her way in the B-Series race. Plus, we have a shot of Skid Mark going off to the HSL junkyard. Certainly not the way he wanted his debut to go after his Cinderella run in qualifying. And now let's see what the field has for lap number 2. Burt Buzzard with an extra pusher. Can Killa Kowalski, who got shuffled into the middle of the field, do anything here to try and take back the lead? The gates are down for lap number 2. Burt Buzzard flying away from the rest of the pack. Crazy Ruby drafting on his back. Mark D's car is absolutely dominant in this segment. And cautions out for another El Reco. This time it's Thunderbolt Joe joining his teammate Abby Normal in the HSL junkyard. The both of them are going to be far behind Kid Charlemagne in the point standings, as Kid Charlemagne has already moved on to the seconds race. It looks like we got ourselves a tiebreaker here, almost a dead heat for 4th place on that lap. And it looks like Flip Gambino has just the ever slightest advantage over Gale. And now the gates are down for the final lap. Does Crazy Ruby have anything for her teammate? Can she go from the B-Series to the main event? And it looks like she will. Crazy Ruby side drafts her own teammate off the track. He lands on his roof. That's an El Reco. But look at this. Crazy Ruby, your segment winner from the B-Series race. Starting 9th in this segment all the way to the main event. Flip Gambino goes to the seconds race. Kid Zach to the thirds. And we got ourselves a double DNF. That's right. Burt Buzzard, your defending champion. More bad luck this season. He'll definitely have an uphill battle to defend his title. Bobby Allison also on his roof and out of the race. Terrible points day for the both of them. Bobby Allison might fall out of the top 10 in points, depending on how the rest of the field stands. And now it's time for your 5th and final segment of the day. On the front rows, your segment pole sitter, Gail Force. Next to her is Harry Hoon. Behind them is Po Boy and Cowell Petty. William Byron and Nomeo, followed by unusually bad starting spots for Lucas Sattler Jr. and RJ McCready, with Bubba Wallace and JJ Smooth rounding out your field in the back row. Now, a couple of these drivers were seen out late at the club with Vinny Nightlife last night. Let's see how they'll race. The gates are down for lap number 1. So far, it's clean racing. So far, Harry Hoon with the upper hand beats out Gale Force, muscles his way past her on the outside row. And we've got caution out for another El Reco. And it's Bubba Wallace, back-to-back first lap DNFs the last 2 races. A potential top 15 season down the toilet so far. And it's really a shame because this car does have the potential to be top 15 in points. But unfortunately, it's had tons of bad luck these last 2 weeks with back-to-back first lap DNFs. Now it's time for lap number 2. Does Harry Hoon have it in him to take this segment? He's got one extra pusher. Now Po Boy drafting on his back. The field bunches up in that first turn. Gale Force gains a lot of ground. She's trying to make a move on Harry Hoon. Harry throws a block, manages to hold her off. Cowell Petty moves up to third. We have no DNFs on the track. A couple drivers on their wheels. Nomio all the way to the back for lap number 3. That heavy car should push the rest of this whole row. But the gates go down. William Byron holds him back. That doesn't matter for Harry Hoon. He's flying away from the rest of the field. Cowell Petty slamming on his back bumper, but unable to make anything work. It's going to be Harry Hoon to the main event. Cowell Petty to the seconds race. And now it's time to kick off your placement racing with your 8th, 9th, and 10th race by Morgan Shepherd and Johnson Jr. on the front row. Lucas Sattler should not be very happy to be here, but so far he gets tossed off the track. Morgan Shepherd leads that first lap. Johnson Jr. holds on to second place, and Lucas Sattler Jr.'s got his work cut out for him if he wants to make it into the 7th race. And we've got ourselves a DNF. That's Nomio on his roof, and now the gates are down for the second lap of your 8th and 9th race. Morgan Shepherd running away with it coming into the turn, and it's going to be Morgan Shepherd. Takes your 8th and 9th race, moves on to the 7th race. Karate Joe in second, Lucas Sattler Jr. in third. And since we only had 4 cars in the 7th race, Kyle Petty, Vinny Nightlife, William Byron, and Dick Trickle, we decided to add second place finisher Karate Joe to the 7th race as well. But if this response is how he's going to drive in the second lap, I don't think it's going to matter much. The gates are down. Kyle Petty takes the lead after there's some other carnage coming out of turn number 1. Looks like Dick Trickle's involved as well as Vinny Nightlife. He'll be starting towards the back of his segment. Dick Trickle's on his side. His day is done. And the gates are down. It's a tight pack heading towards the bottom of the split track. A great push by William Byron for Morgan Shepherd. And I spoke too soon. Cautions out, major El Reco. Kyle Petty's car got absolutely destroyed by that wreck. William Byron on his roof as well. Can't really see up close, but the impact actually knocked one of Kyle Petty's axles loose. I should have him fixed before the first race. It's a simple, easy fix. And would you look at that, Karate Joe actually won, and he joins Killa Kowalski, John Trent, Baby Richie, Ratha, and JJ Smooth in the 7th race. And the gates are down, cautions out, El Reco. We got ourselves a double DNF. That's right, Karate Joe and John Trent on their roofs from out of the race. Some epic flipping by John Trent. Let's show this to you guys in slow motion. He flips over a grand total of 7 times if you're counting it as 180-degree flips, 3.5 times if you count them 360 degrees, and Killa Kowalski leads the lap. Pretty much nobody else even crosses the finish line there. And now the gates are down for lap number 2. Killa Kowalski not happy to be this far back in the field, flying away from the rest of the pack in this 6th race. But Ratha's not giving up. Does Ratha have anything for him? It's going to be Killa Kowalski moving on to the 5th race, where he's going to join Misty G, your points leader, alongside her satellite teammates Lazy A and Gale. Jimbo Rockford, that should be Po Boy in RJ McCready's spot. But they must have a hangover or something from partying with Vinny Nightlife, because RJ McCready's somehow in the 5th race. And the gates are down. Misty G making quick work of the field. Everybody bunched up behind her. And we have a couple cars go off the track. Killa Kowalski and Lazy A hit a tow truck while Misty G flies across the finish line. Gale moves up to 2nd, and RJ McCready, who's racing for... Oh, wait, I'm getting the news that it's actually Po Boy in that car. They just ended up with each other's keys somehow. I don't want to know how they did that, but they did. The gates are down for lap 2 of this 4th race. Does anybody have anything for Misty G? Po Boy tries to make a move underneath, but Misty responds with a reverse side draft. She's going to take the win, buy over a track segment, and move on to the 4th race. Po Boy came close in that swapped car, much like Denny Hamlin did with Eric Almirola's car in 2008. But now it's time for said fourth race. And on the pole is Skeeter Davis next to Atomic Bob. RJ McCready, driving Po' Boy's car temporarily, is behind them. And the Uncle Elvis teammates of Richard Petty and Jim Douglas. The gates are down for lap 1. Skeeter Davis flying away from the rest of the field. Misty G flipping off the guardrail but manages to recover. It's going to be Skeeter Davis that takes lap number 1. RJ McCready in second. Atomic Bob in third. Now it's time for lap number 2 of the fourth race. Does anybody have anything for Skeeter Davis? And the gates are down. Skeeter Davis running away from the rest of the pack, formed up behind him. They catch up in the turns. Skeeter Davis side drafts off of his pseudo teammate, throws a block and takes the win. Skeeter Davis on to the third race, where he's going to join Gale Force on the pole. Next to her is Puff. Behind them, Kid Zach and Johnny What the Hell is a Kilometer Benson. And finally, Skidis Marcus making his debut. The gates are down. The lights get a little too bright for Skidis Marcus. Everyone else still a tight 5-car pack heading into the second turn. Gale Force and Puff side by side through the turn. Gale Force with the advantage leads lap number 1. Puff holds on to second place. Skeeter Davis goes up from 6th place to 3rd. Of all people, Skidis Marcus makes a recovery, ends up finishing 4th as Kid Zach and Johnny Benson go off the track. Now it's time for lap number 2 of your third race. Once again, Gale Force and Puff side by side. It's a tight 6-car pack heading into turn number 1. And Gale Force goes flying off the track. Cautions out, El Reco for Gale Force. Puff wins your third race, moves on to the second race. Skeeter Davis takes second place. That's good for 12th overall. And we have Gale Force on her roof as well as Skidis Marcus. And that brings us to our second race. On the front row, Flip Gambino and Lucky Jackson. He really needs this. Cowell Petty and Gaza in the second row. Kid Charlemagne starting in 5th. And the gates are down for your second race. A lot of guys who aren't as high in the point standings as they want to be, taking advantage of this opportunity. All but one car in this segment is going to finish in the top 10. It looks like the odd man out is going to be Cowell Petty unless he somehow recovers. Cautions out, El Reco. He rides almost the whole length of the track on his roof while his satellite teammate Flip Gambino takes the lead for lap number 1. Lucky Jackson holds on to second place. Gaza 3rd, and Puff moves up to 4th. And Kid Charlemagne also locks up a top 10 finish by staying on his wheels. Now it's time for the final lap of the second race. Who's going to get into the main event? The gates are down. Flip Gambino with a car length lead over Gaza. They're pulling away from the rest of the field. Does anybody have anything for Flip Gambino? Entering the first turn, Gaza gets sideways, gets a little squirrely, manages to recover. Flip Gambino runs away from him. Gaza catches up coming out of turn 2. Tries to make a move for the lead. It's not going to work. Flip Gambino wins the second race and moves on to the main event. Gaza locks up 7th place. Lucky Jackson 8th. Kid Charlemagne 9th and Puff 10th. All these guys really needed a good day. They come away with top 10s. And that means it's main event time. Kicking things off on the pole for your main event is Amber Beach, who's won 2 out of the first 4 races so far. Next to her is Gator McCluskey in just his second career main event. Behind him, Harry Hoon making a comeback from those couple of bad races, followed by Remy 12 Gauge, and finally Crazy Ruby went from 9th to 1st in her segment and actually had to race her way in through the B Series race. The gates are down for lap number 1, and Amber Beach flying away from the rest of the field. Amber Beach wins it by the lane to the backstretch, cautions out El Reco. It's Harry Hoon on his roof and out of the race. He'll be scored in 6th, still a great points day for him. Remy 12 Gauge and Crazy Ruby off the track but on their wheels. They will live to race another day. Flip Gambino from last place up to 2nd. The gates are down for lap number 2. Does anybody have anything for Amber Beach? Halfway down the split track, she's already got a 3-car length lead over Gator McCluskey and her teammate Flip Gambino, who lives up to his name and flips off of the track, still lands on his wheels. It's a single file line for lap number 2. Amber Beach in the lead. Gator McCluskey back up to 2nd, and Crazy Ruby up to 3rd. Does anybody have anything for Amber Beach? She's been absolutely dominant all race, all season. Crazy Ruby starting in 3rd. Gets a great push from Flip Gambino. That inside lane absolutely railroads the outside. Amber Beach with a car length lead over Crazy Ruby heading into turn number 1. And look at this, she increases her lead coming out of turn number 1, heading into turn 2. Crazy Ruby is not giving up. She's on her back bumper trying to make a move for the win. It's too little too late. It's going to be Amber Beach is going to win the Road Course World Cup at the Glen, followed by Crazy Ruby from 49th to 2nd. From going in the B Series race to scoring a podium, Flip Gambino rounds it out in 3rd place. Remy 12 gauge 4th, and Gator McCluskey chokes on the last lap, goes off the track for 5th. And here they are on the podium: Amber Beach, Crazy Ruby, and Flip Gambino. Congratulations to Flips Racing, 2 out of the 3 spots on the podium, including the W, 3 out of 5 races. Amber Beach, you guys have built one incredible car there, and you got to tip your hat to Crazy Ruby as well. Had to race in through the B Series race, started in the middle of the pack there, won the B Series race, started 49th, and moved up to 2nd place. Awesome job, Mark D and Flips Racing. Great job, guys. Here is your total results. First is the top 10. Amber Beach, Crazy Ruby, and Flip Gambino on the podium. Remy 12 gauge and Gator McCluskey round out your top 5. Harry Hoon rounds out your main event. Gaza, Lucky Jackson, Kid Charlemagne, and Puff round out your top 10. Great points days for all of these guys. And let's take a look at spots 11 through 25. Cowell Petty and Skeeter Davis, Johnny Benson, Kid Zach, and Skidis Marcus round out your top 15. Misty G, your points leader, ended up 20th after all that. And RJ McCready ends up 17th. Po Boy ends up 22nd. I put them in the wrong segments. It's a scoring error by myself, but they ended up both finishing 2nd in those races, and that's where the people that finished 2nd in the 4th race and 5th race finish. So that's why they're 17th and 22nd. And here is the rest of your field. Jimbo Rockford in 26th through Abby Normal in 50th. We had a total of 10 DNFs. Nomeo was your lowest finishing finisher. Deuce Andretti, your highest finishing El Reco. And now let's take a look at the point standings. Misty G still holds a 33-point lead over Amber Beach, despite Amber Beach's win today. But Amber gained exactly 100 points over Misty in that title run. Skeeter Davis holds on steady to 3rd place. Then it's another 73 points, all the way down to 4th place, Lucas Sattler Jr. Crazy Ruby, Deuce Andretti, Harry Hoon, RJ McCready, Gale Force, and Atomic Bob round out your top 10. Atomic Bob only 2 points ahead of 11th place Remy 12 gauge, and only 4 points ahead of Killa Kowalski. Petty, Gator McCluskey, and Flip Gambino round out your top 15. Then a 23-point drop to 16th place Bobby Allison, who fell 9 spots due to an El Reco. Baby Richie, Thomas Elliott falls to 18th with his DNQ. Gaza up to 19th, and Burt Buzzard's DNF leaves him in 20th. Ratha, Lucky Jackson, Kyle Petty, Coffee Tart moves all the way down to 24th. Kid Zach rounds out your top 25. Now here's spots 26 through 40. Johnny Benson in 26th, 112 points ahead of 40th place Sonic. And now you can see the tiers levels of drivers in the standings here. I think a couple races ago there was only like 100 points between 12th and 35th or something crazy like that. It's been kind of stretched out a bit more lately. Trick Dickel in 41st through JJ Smooth in 60th. That top 50 cutoff will be important after the Road Course World Cup races are all done and finished. Will be your All-Star Open and All-Star Race doubleheader at Talladega. That's right, Talladega with the funnel chute will be home of your All-Star Open and All-Star Race. They will be full points paying races. So you get a doubleheader at Talladega this year. And here we have the last few drivers, 61st through 74th. A lot of the B Series regulars in this segment here. That's right, I said the All-Star races at Talladega will be immediately after the last road course race. And those will be races 10 and 11, followed by one race yet to be determined. And then finally the Pennsylvania home stretch of Pocono, the hockey race, and Nazareth. And here we have your Road Course World Cup standings. The top 3 finishers are going to get the points added to their total season points. So far, that's Amber Beach, Thomas Elliott, and Skeeter Davis, who has a 1-point lead over 4th place Crazy Ruby for that all-important 3rd spot. And the winner of the Road Course World Cup will also receive a couple of premium Hot Wheels castings as prizes. And speaking of prize castings, the winner of the next race at Las Vegas will receive a 1/64 scale Kyle Busch race car from the Car of Tomorrow era, I believe the 2008 or 2009 season, alongside his regular prize Hot Wheel. And plus there will be another opportunity for bonus points at Las Vegas as well when they play the slot machine. You'll see how that works when the qualifying video comes out. Let me know how you like it. And if you want to see your cars on my channel, send it to HSL Diecast, P.O. Box 7, Wing Gap, Pennsylvania 18091. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and as always, subscribe. We'll see you out there on the track.